Long ago, in the prosperous city of Ujjain, there ruled a mighty and just king named Vikramaditya. He was known across India for his courage, intelligence, and unmatched sense of justice. His court was filled with scholars, poets, and wise men, and his fame reached distant lands. People believed that no one could deceive King Vikramaditya, for his wisdom was like a shining lamp that revealed truth in every corner. One day, a merchant from a faraway land arrived in Ujjain. He brought with him a beautifully carved throne made of solid gold, adorned with 32 small statues of celestial maidens. Each statue was more lifelike than the other, their eyes sparkling like diamonds, their smiles filled with mystery. The merchant offered the throne for sale, saying, "This is no ordinary throne, O king. It once belonged to the greatest ruler of all, King Vikramaditya himself." Vikramaditya, intrigued, asked, "But I am Vikramaditya. How can this throne belong to me?" The merchant smiled and said, "Then prove it, O king." Hearing this, the king decided to sit upon the golden throne. But as soon as he placed his foot on the first step, one of the celestial maidens came to life and said, "Stop, O king. Before you sit, tell me if you are truly worthy. I shall ask you a question. If you answer truthfully and with justice, you may ascend further." Thus began the series of 32 riddles, each testing the king's wisdom, honesty, and compassion. Every statue told him a story from the life of the first Vikramaditya, the ideal king of ancient times, and at the end of each story, she asked, "Tell me, O king, what was true righteousness in this case?" Vikramaditya listened carefully and answered each question with deep thought and fairness. Sometimes his answers spoke of mercy, sometimes of courage, and sometimes of sacrifice. Each time, the maiden bowed before him and said, "You have answered wisely, O noble king. You may step one step higher." As he climbed, the people of Ujjain gathered around the throne, amazed at the magical sight. They saw their king being tested not by mortals but by divine beings. The stories revealed to Vikramaditya the secret of what it truly means to be a ruler, to balance justice with kindness, strength with humility, and pride with wisdom. Finally, when he reached the 32nd step, the last celestial maiden asked her question. "In the world, what is greater, power or truth?" The king paused. He thought of all he had achieved, his victories, his wealth, his knowledge, and then he said, "Truth is greater than power. For power fades when time changes, but truth stands eternal. A king may rule for a lifetime, but only truth rules forever." The maiden smiled and said, "You are indeed the true Vikramaditya, worthy of this throne." As she spoke, a divine light surrounded the throne, and the maidens turned back into golden statues. The throne shone with a heavenly glow, and Vikramaditya sat upon it. Not as a conqueror, but as a servant of truth and justice. But King Vikramaditya's story does not end there. His courage and sense of duty were tested again when he faced the cunning ghost Vital. Every night, Vikramaditya would go to a cremation ground to capture the ghost who lived on a tree, hanging upside down from a corpse. The Vital would tell him strange stories filled with riddles and moral dilemmas. At the end of each tale, the ghost would say, "O king, if you know the answer and yet keep silent, your head shall burst into 1,000 pieces. But if you speak, I will fly away." Vikramaditya always knew the answer, his wisdom could not be fooled, and every time he spoke, the ghost escaped. Yet the king never gave up. Night after night, he returned, until one day, when he kept silent at the right time, the Vital finally blessed him, saying, "You have conquered not me, but your own pride. You are truly the greatest ruler the world has ever known." Thus, King Vikramaditya became a symbol of eternal wisdom, courage, and justice. His name still lives on in the hearts of those who believe that truth is the highest virtue, and that a ruler's true power lies not in his throne, but in his righteousness. Moral: wisdom and truth make a ruler truly great, not power, wealth, or fear.